Hello and welcome to another edition of ChinnyVision. Today we're looking at Virtua Fighter 2 on the Sega Saturn. When it comes to fighting games, every few years something new and innovative comes along that changes the game. Everything from the kind of three-way fighting in IK Plus with all the fantastic animations on the Commodore 64 through to Street Fighter 2 on the SNES, where you were basically getting the arcade experience in the home, but all those games were 2D. When did the first 3D game come out? Well, not long after Street Fighter 2 came out on the SNES, Virtua Fighter hit the arcades, of course, by Sega, and there was, of course, a port for the Saturn of Virtua Fighter, and pretty faithful it was as well. The same year it came out on the Sega Saturn, Virtua Fighter 2 came out in the arcades, and the following year, 1995, it was ported to the Saturn. It is the arcade experience. You're getting the full kind of selection of characters here, not quite as kind of nicely defined and or full of character really that the Street Fighter 2 fighters had. Certainly can't really remember any of their names. You know, we're going to select one here, and we're selecting Father Christmas or Sean as he's known. Now, back in 95, these graphics would have been really cutting edge and really impressive. Personally, looking at this in 2014, of course, immediately you're comparing it to games that came out later, such as Soul Calibur. And unfortunately, this does make Virtua Fighter 2 look a little bit crude and basic, but you need to get past that, really, because it is a revolutionary title and it is the age it is. One of the things I really do like about Virtua Fighter 2 is the amount of heft and weight the characters are. When they fall, you really feel that they've got some weights to them, and when you perform some of the moves and throw them around, and not like ragdolls, you get a sense of realism about it. Lots of different moves, lots of different screens, lots of different enemies, and a real variety of enemies that you get. It does look pretty identical to the arcade. The big difference is the backgrounds are 2D and are being scaled by the hardware as opposed to the kind of full 3D that I think the arcade had. There's lots of different moves, there's some great music, some real atmosphere here. It's a shame the kind of graphics do kind of sometimes float around the kind of platforms that you've got. And it's hard, as I say, not to draw comparisons with Soul Calibur, which came out, 4 or 5 years later, which really take kind of what Virtua Fighter did and take it to the next level. Soul Calibur is a game I still happily play today, and I think it looks fantastic. It's slightly crude by modern standards, but it still looks so good. And you know, it owes so much to Virtua Fighter, and it's a shame that you have to draw this comparison, because if you're saying to me, well, do you want to play Virtua Fighter or do you want to play Soul Calibur? I'll play Soul Calibur every day of the week, and on the Dreamcast, not the PlayStation, not the GameCube, nothing else. Dreamcast version of Soul Calibur, fantastic game.
You win!
But Virtua Fighter is what it is. It's the first of its kind. Virtua Fighter 2 is the development from that, and it does play well. Two-player action is good. Perhaps not as fun as Street Fighter 2. I just think if you're going to play two-player fighting games, then Street Fighter 2 is just for 2D games, it's the one you go to. But everything has to start somewhere, and Sega have done a fantastic job of getting the arcade experience into the home. Perhaps would I pick it up today as a game that I would want to play, you know, like I pick up Street Fighter 2 or Soul Calibur? No. Would I pick it up to look at how important it was in terms of, even today, in terms of modern gaming today? Yes, certainly. Have a look, see where 3D fighting began. It's a really important game, and one for anybody interested in video gaming to check out.